So we're going to talk about having a family-friendly Ramadan, and just a few recommendations I've been able to put together that I'd like to share with today. Number one is suhoor and iftar, the two big exciting parts of the day. Alright, so anybody who's fasting, especially in summer, you got these 18-hour, 19-hour fasts. MashaAllah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give everyone strength and steadfastness. So it's really difficult, it's very demanding. So people make a big deal out of suhoor and iftar. It becomes very important, and rightfully so. These are also sunnahs of the Prophet ﷺ as well. What normally happens at the time of suhoor and iftar? How do we have suhoor and iftar? So I'm going to give you a very typical scenario. The mom wakes up 30 minutes before, 45 minutes before, an hour before the rest of the family. And what mama does is she goes downstairs, she cooks and prepares suhoor for everyone. And then everyone comes down, 15 minutes before suhoor ends, rubbing their face and rubbing their eyes and, still wiping the drool from their face. And everybody kind of walks down and crawls down and just kind of piles in. Nobody makes eye contact with each other. Nobody talks to each other. And they just get their ready to go food that mom has been slaving over for 45 minutes in the kitchen. Everyone eats their suhoor, doesn't even pick up their plates and things like that, and just kind of crawls back off to their rooms to just make wudu, pray right next to their bed so that they can do salam, salam, and roll over and go right back to sleep. That's your typical suhoor. Iftar, similarly, what ends up happening, we're trying to keep ourselves busy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us. It's really not the right thing to do in Ramadan. Watching a lot of TV, playing a lot of video games, doing all this kind of stuff. Just trying to get to the time of iftar some way, somehow. Mom, meanwhile, has been in the kitchen for 2 hours preparing a gourmet iftar for the whole family. And then again, we show up 30 seconds before iftar time to sit down, grab the food, stuff our faces, and then run right back off. So this is part of the problem. We need to have suhoor and iftar together, but here's the recommendation. Number one, prepare it together as a family. Turn the preparation of suhoor and iftar into a family activity. So everybody come down, and if 4 people are preparing suhoor instead of 1 person, it wouldn't take 45 minutes, it would take 20 minutes. So the whole family needs to wake up together, come downstairs, prepare their suhoor together, and then eat their suhoor together, and then clean up after the suhoor together as well. Because mom's got to pray Salatul Fajr as well. Mom wants to read some Qiyam and recite some Quran and observe her Ramadan as well. It's not fair to her to just put all the responsibility on her. But if we prepared together, ate together, and then cleaned up together, we basically will have spent an hour of time together, quality family time, having a conversation, talking together, maybe even sharing a hadith with one another, maybe, sharing the translation or what we heard in the tafsir lecture at Taraweeh last night together. So it's a very beneficial opportunity. So suhoor and iftar, prepare, eat, and clean up together as a family. Number 2, pray together. We should pray together as families all the time, but especially in the month of Ramadan. Especially in the month of Ramadan. So whenever we are praying at home, instead of everybody just praying individually and on their own, get together and pray together as a family. Number 3, study some Quran together every single day. Now that sounds very overwhelming. What are you saying? I have to have like an hour-long tafsir dars? No. Study a little bit of Quran. Take 1 verse, read the translation of 1 verse, and just have a little discussion about it, right? So just study a little bit of Quran every day, together as a family, in the month of Ramadan. Number 4, have a Quran memorization competition amongst the family. So pick a surah, Surah Yasin, Surah Rahman, Surah Al-Kahf, Surah Al-Mulk. It doesn't matter what you pick. Pick some portion of the Quran and say, we're going to have a Quran memorization competition in the family. We get very excited about the Quran competition at school, at the masjid, etc. in the community. We should be having our own Quran competitions at home. So what are we going to do? Pick a surah. Everyone's going to try to memorize it. Whoever memorizes it first and is able to recite it without any mistakes to the rest of the family wins the competition. They'll get some type of a prize. Everybody else is going to buy them gifts, whatever the case may be. But it makes the whole family do something together as a family. And number 5, especially young married couples, especially those who have smaller children. Taraweeh is an emphasized sunnah for men. It is an optional practice for women. Nevertheless, we also have to understand, aside from the fiqh technical ruling on Taraweeh, there's something greater at stake. We're talking about spirituality, we're talking about Ramadan, we're talking about our relationship with Allah. Women need those things just as much as men do. Wives need those things just as much as husbands do. Mothers need spirituality, a spiritual revival, a relationship with Allah, a renewed sense of iman. I would say not just as much as fathers, I would say even more so than fathers do. Because I know the vital role that my mother played in my life and in my tarbiyah. I always tell people, I learned iman, I learned how to believe from my mom. Mothers have that impact on their children. So our wives, our sisters, and especially the mothers of our children also need to be able to experience Ramadan and better their relationship in the month of Ramadan with Allah. For that reason, my recommendation is this. If you got little kids and you can't take them to Taraweeh prayers, not just because of the noise issue, but what I'm talking about is, like, I know my kids have a bedtime. They can't physically stay up past a certain time. They're babies. So the kids go to sleep. Now somebody's got to stay home with the kids and somebody's got to go for Taraweeh prayers. So what I recommend is parents take turns staying with the kids and attending Taraweeh prayers. Even if it's not every other day, once a week, twice a week, whatever the case may be, whatever you can manage. You know, dad, make a little bit of a sacrifice. Taraweeh prayers is also sunnah to perform at home, by the way. That if the mom, your wife, is going to get together with a few friends, go to Taraweeh prayers, pray Taraweeh, listen to the dars, listen to the khatira, receive a little bit of a spiritual boost, an iman boost, facilitate that for her.